going live now. You're live.
Okay, we'll call to order this meeting on June 21st. It is a special board meeting of the Woodford County Board of Education. For the roll call, there are 4 members present in person. Ms. Richardson is absent. And we have only one item on the agenda for this special meeting, and that is the Superintendent Summative Evaluation. Bearing that in mind, is there a motion to go into executive session pursuant to KRS 61.8101? Do you know which one is the evaluation?
It's F.
F. Thank you.
So moved.
Nice. There's a motion by Ms. McHale and a very close second by Ms. McGlass. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? The motion carries 4-0. We will be in executive session.
volume back up now. You can start whenever.
He said you can start.
Can we, I didn't hear what you said about the screen.
Oh. We're ready whenever. It'll take a few seconds for that to warm up.
Okay. So we will call to order this meeting on June 21st.
Madam Chair, you've got to exit out of executive
Oh,
session.
thank you very much, Angel. Is there a motion to return from executive session?
So moved.
There's a motion by Ms. Glass. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Second by Ms. McHale. All those in favor say aye.
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 The motion carries 4-0. Thank you for that, Ms. Cooper. Is there a motion to adjourn the executive or the special meeting?
So moved.
Motion by Ms. Glass. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Second by Ms. McHale. All those in favor say aye.
Aye. Aye.
The meeting is adjourned with a motion 4-0. Now, we'll call to order the special board meeting on June 21st of the Woodford County Board of Education. And for a roll call, we will show that there are 4 board members present in person, and Ms. Richardson is joining us electronically. The first item on the agenda is to appoint a Woodford County Board of Education secretary effective July 1st. And that is a position that is typically held by the superintendent. Is there a motion to appoint Mr. Adkins as secretary of the Woodford County Board of Education secretary effective July 1st?
So moved.
There's a motion by Ms. Springate. Is there a
So
second?
moved.
There's a second by Ms. Richardson. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Allison, you've got a little bit of a delay, just so you know. I'm guessing it's probably weather related. So if you could raise your hand for
Yes,
votes. I assume you voted on affirmatively on that?
Yes, ma'am. I can call in if it gets too bad. Tell me and I'll dial in.
Okay. The motion carries 5-0. Will you stand and join with me in the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. And I have no proposed amendments to the agenda tonight. Are there any from board members? No. Hearing none, we will move on to Mr. Hawkins' superintendent report.
Thank you, Ms. Bradley. Good evening, and thanks for tuning in to the June Board of Education meeting. Tonight is bittersweet as it marks my final meeting as your superintendent. While I am excited about the next chapter in my life, it also comes with sadness as I am leaving an incredible school district and an amazing group of people. Our schools, students, and staff have accomplished many milestones and achievements which have brought great joy to the district and community, and personally made me extremely proud. I could spend a great deal of time reflecting on these accomplishments. However, this evening I prefer to spend my time thanking Team Woodford and our first-class students. I truly feel you could search the world over and you wouldn't find a more committed group of people. Each day they strive to love, teach, and support our students in every way possible. And to our students, you are simply the best. You continue to rise to every challenge, and your resiliency has been on display this year like no other. It would be any superintendent's dream to lead a district like ours. Although I'm retiring, I will forever be a Yellow Jacket and proudly wear the black and gold. Our theme this year has been We Are Woodford, Changing Lives for Good. Over these past 13 years, this school district and its people have certainly changed me for good. Thanks again for tuning in. It's been an honor to serve as your superintendent, and together we have become a flagship school district in Kentucky.
Thank you, Mr. Hawkins. I think at this time, if any board members would like to say a thank you, that it would be completely appropriate, and we can start with Ms. McHale.
Mr. Hawkins, I know that you didn't want any sort of big to-do from us on this occasion, but we just couldn't let this day pass without saying thank you with some sweet treats. I've got a little basket that we put together for you for your many years of service at Woodford County. I think being able to affect the life of one child in your life is a huge accomplishment. Tens of thousands of children have been affected positively by you. And I hope you never forget that. They'll certainly never forget you. And from the board, I would like to say that we hope that you have a very long, very happy, very healthy retirement. And we're looking forward to seeing you as a dad next year instead of Mr. Hawkins.
Agreed. Ms. Springate?
I would just say thank you so much. Obviously, you've done an exemplary job. This is a wonderful district.
Giving him a sweet
Yeah.
treats from all of us. I'll just set these down there. You can eat them during the rest of the meeting.
I may not need to sit them in front of you. I'm hiding them from the people over there.
Sorry. Oh, you're fine. Just thank you so much. Thank you so much for dedicating your life and for the changes you've made, for the really, truly exemplary job that you've done for our district to make Woodford County what it is today. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Springate. Ms. Richardson?
I would just like to respectfully pass, but thank you.
Okay.
Thank you.
You're going to have to cut off one of your things because it's echoing back.
Okay, I just said that I will respectfully pass, but thank you.
Thank you. Ms. Glass?
No, thank you for your years and to your family. I think that's a lot of sacrifice that your family have probably went to, so I wanted to make sure to get that in there as well. But I think it's evident under your leadership, how Woodford County schools have grown and, become one of the top districts in the state. So I thank you as a parent and as a board member and wish you luck in your retirement. And maybe you'll be a surgeon or whatever, like the little video those kids made, or go to Cancun. I would go to Cancun, but again, just appreciate your service and wish you well.
Thank you.
And I would echo what the other board members have said and note that a plaque or something like that is not nearly as near and dear to your sweet tooth as the crumble cookies that we have heard about and how much you enjoy those. So I wish you the best of luck in your retirement and am appreciative of all that you have accomplished in Woodford County Schools.
Thank you.
Okay, moving on. Is there a motion to approve the treasurer's report?
So moved.
There's a motion by Ms. Springate. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Ms. Glass. All those in favor say aye. Aye.
Aye.
The motion passes 5-0. Is there any item on the consent agenda that any member would like pulled out? I'm sorry, we'll go back to that. We'll finish with the consent agenda. And hearing none, is there a motion to pass the consent agenda?
So moved.
There's a motion by Ms. Springate. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Second by Ms. Glass. All those in favor say aye. Aye.
Aye.
The motion passes 5-0. Ms. Cooper, were there any public comments? Okay, thank you. Ms. Glass pointed that out. We'll now move on to the regular agenda. Mr. Hawkins, if you want to go ahead.
Sure. Item A, we would ask that you accept notification of the personnel matters that have occurred since our May board meeting.
So moved.
There's a motion by Ms. Springate. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Second by Ms. McHale. All those in favor say aye. Aye.
Aye.
The motion carries 5-0.
Item B, we would ask that you accept notification of payment of bills.
So moved.
Motion by Ms. Springate, is there a second?
I'll second.
Second by Ms. McHale, all those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
The motion
Aye.
passes 5-0.
Item C is to approve the meeting minutes of the May 7th, 2021 board meeting. Ms. Springate was absent.
Chair makes a motion to approve the meeting minutes of May 7th, is there a second?
I'll second.
Second by Ms. McHale, all those in favor say aye.
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 The motion carries 4-0.
Item D is to approve the meeting minutes of May 10th, May 17th, May 18th, May 19th, May 24th, and May 25th, 2021 board meetings. All were in attendance.
So moved.
Motion by Ms. Glass, is there a second?
I'll second that.
Second by Ms. McHale, all those in favor of approving the minutes say aye. Aye.
Aye.
The motion carries 5-0.
Item E, Mr. Asher went through the district trauma informed plan last week, and we would ask for your approval of that plan.
So moved.
So motion by Ms. Springate, is there a second?
Second.
Second by Ms. Glass, all those in favor say aye. Aye.
Aye.
The motion passes 5-0.
Item F is to approve the renewal of the bid for cyber insurance.
So moved.
There's a motion by Ms. Springate, is there a second?
Second.
Second by Ms. Glass. All those in favor say aye.
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 Aye. I'm sorry.
The motion
Read mine.
carries 5-0.
Item G is to approve the bond of depository.
So moved.
There's a motion by Ms. Springate, is there a second?
Second.
Second by Ms. Glass, all those in favor say aye. Aye.
Aye.
The motion carries 5-0. Item H is the superintendent evaluation, and I will read the standard and then the score. The 4 scoring options are exemplary, accomplished, developing, and growth required. Item number 1 is strategic leadership, and the score was an exemplary. Item number 2 was instructional leadership, and the score was accomplished. Item 3 was cultural leadership, and the score was accomplished. Item 4 is human resource leadership, and the score was exemplary. Item 5 was managerial leadership, and the score was accomplished. Item 6 is collaborative leadership, and the score was accomplished. And item 7 is influential leadership, and the score was exemplary. And the board would like to compliment Mr. Hawkins on his leadership through COVID and note the number of days that our students were in school versus some in the state or even our surrounding counties, and the benefit to all of our students for that.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Miss, the question.
Yes, ma'am.
Can you tell me the tally of how many were accomplished and how many were exemplary out of the 7 standards, please? I wasn't able to attend the meeting since it wasn't published as a meeting that could be a teleconference meeting. So I wasn't able to attend that. I just want to make that clear that I did not vote on any of these items, but I would like to know how many were accomplished and how many were exemplary at the end of the meeting.
Okay. Do you want me to send that to you after? Is that what you're requesting?
Can you just give me that tally now on
Yes.
the 7 standards?
So there were 3 exemplary scores and 4 accomplished scores.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. And is there a motion to approve the evaluation as read?
So moved.
There's a motion by Ms. McHale. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Ms. Glass. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed?
Nay. Nay.
The motion passes 4-1. Ms. Richardson, can you mute your phone?
I have to have my phone on to be able to talk to you. I have my computer muted.
Okay,
Would you like for me to log out online and only do the telephone?
no, it's not consistently bad, and we're doing okay. I don't want for you not to be able to
Okay.
participate.
Okay, I'm sorry. I just have a bad connection. I'll try to hang up from the telephone call and only do the meeting, online meeting, and see how that works. If it doesn't work, I'll join back to the telephone call.
Okay. We will move on with agenda item I.
All right, that is to approve the master agreement with Stockyards Bank.
So moved.
Is this any better? I can't hear you guys, but can you hear me?
Yes, I mean, your audio's fine, but you can't hear us?
I have no audio from you guys.
You should. We've got.
Testing 1, 2, 3. Can you hear us now?
Yes,
She
I can.
needs her volume up.
I'm sorry, is your volume all the way up?
Can you hear me now?
A little bit. Can you hear us? I think calling back in for the audio may be the right choice. If you can't hear us at all, that's the better option.
Is this better?
No, it's choppy.
Okay, I'll call back in.
Okay.
Okay. Is that better? Is that better?
No, not yet. Just a motion. Okay, can you hear us now?
Yes, I can.
Okay. So Ms. Springate has made a motion to approve item I. Is there a second?
Second.
There's a second by Ms. McHale. All those in favor of approving the master agreement with Stockyards Bank, say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries 5-0.
Item J is to approve the revised treasurer's fidelity bond, and that, if you recall, we did that last month, but Katie required a slightly higher amount, so we're asking for your approval on that revised fidelity bond.
So moved.
There's a motion by Ms. Springate. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Ooh, that was close. There's a second by Ms. Glass. She edged you out just a little, Ms. McHale. All those in favor, say aye.
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 The motion passes 5-0.
Item K, we are asking for your approval on a capital funds request of approximately $453,000 to cover some general fund expenditures, which would be buses, some property insurance premium, and some technology cost.
So moved.
There's a motion by Ms. Springate. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Second by Ms. McHale. All those in favor, say aye.
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 Opposed?
Nay.
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 Motion fails 2-3.
Item L is to unrestrict $350,000 of general fund money. The reason behind that request is that since there have been no bonds sold, again, that would help our general fund out. And given the overall cost of a potential high school, $350,000 would have a limited impact on that. So we would ask for you to unrestrict those funds.
So moved.
There's a motion by Ms. Springate. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Second by Ms. McHale. All those in favor, say aye.
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 Opposed?
Nay.
Nay.
Ms. Bass, I'm sorry, I did not.
Nay.
Thank you. The motion fails 2-3. There is no old business to discuss or board member communications. The next item is a discussion item for an advisory committee update. It's listed for you, Ms. Springate, but I assume you would rather I take that one?
Sure,
To give you
yeah.
the-
I just asked for it to be put on. I know that there's been a meeting, and last week at our budget work session, Mr. Hawkins, you talked about some concerns, significant concerns, and so I just wanted to put that on so that we could kind of address that in an open meeting and kind of see what's going on and where we're at.
Okay.
Sure, I can take the concerns part of it on the, and that was primarily from the design of the building. And I want to kind of walk through because there are several that I think are important and that really will need to be addressed at some point in time. When you look at the design of the current building, of the current that was provided by Ross Torrent, the cafeteria is a main thoroughfare of the building. Every student, driver, every bus rider, and all staff would enter the building actually through the cafeteria in the morning. That's a concern from a supervision standpoint, and I think just from a traffic flow standpoint, when you think about all the different tables and things that are set up within a cafeteria. And so that's, you're probably looking at close to 1,000 people. That's going to be the main entrance for them into the building. On the flip side of that is that if you are then coming from the classroom area of the building and either going to the gym or going to the music suite, then you have to walk through the cafeteria to get to either one of those locations. And again, that is a concern from a supervision standpoint, as well as if there's lunch going on, what that might do. There is no separate lobby for the gymnasium. The cafeteria actually would have to serve as the lobby for the gym. And where that is concerning is you could not have multiple events going on at the same time. So if there were to be a banquet taking place in the cafeteria and you also have an event in the gym, then you've got a problem with those. So, and I think one of the issues too is that we don't have a lobby now in our current gym. And so I think it would be nice to have a distinct lobby, a separate lobby for that space, given the number of events that take place in a gymnasium. I think too, we had also, and I had mentioned this to the architect probably in August of 2019, about having a little bit more flexibility within the space of the gym. And in particular, having a track around the perimeter of the gym on the top level. And what that does is it creates space then for multiple groups to be able to utilize the gym. Because right now, as it stands, the gym would basically be kind of what we have now with about 300 more seats. And so having the track around the top, again, where bleachers could be pushed back, not only allows you to have multiple groups be able to utilize the space, and if you've ever been in here in inclement weather, you've seen people run the halls. And so this then provides an opportunity for them to have some space as well. So you've got some design issues, I think, that are pretty significant with that side of the building, the gym, cafeteria, the music suite, and then some of the other issues. I think, number one, the auditorium is an alternate, and it is a requirement on the KDE model plan now for high schools. And so while they did give us permission to list it as an alternate, I think it needs to be in the base bid, because that shows that we value having that space within our school. I think number two, the current design does not have the best roof. that we could possibly get. And I think we all know we've had roof issues here. We've had roof issues at the middle school, and I think it's imperative that we put the best roof on the building right from the get-go. And
Madam Chair, can I just ask a question really quick, please?
can I finish first? And then you
No,
can
I'd
ask
like to
any
ask
questions.
my question. I'd like to ask my question first if I could. Madam Chair, do you give me permission to do that?
Yes.
Is the design of the new school on our agenda tonight? Because this kind of seems to me like a backdoor way to enter into a discussion that we haven't really put on the agenda. I don't know where the design of this new school has come into a major topic here on this agenda item. Can someone explain that to me?
I'll be happy to. These concerns were all shared.
Well, I would like,
These
I would actually
concerns,
like for the
I'd like to
chairperson
answer the
to
question if
explain
I
that to me
could,
if
because
he
I can
doesn't
give
mind.
you a response.
Mr. Hawkins? Mr. Hawkins?
These
Mr.
concerns
Hawkins,
were
I'm
all
asking
shared
Ms. I'm asking
in the
Ms.
advisory
Bradley.
committee
Mr.
meeting.
Hawkins, Ms. Bradley, would you please call him to order? I believe the board employs Mr. Hawkins. It's not the opposite, and I'm asking a question.
Okay, we have to avoid talking over each other.
Yes. Ms. Bradley, I'm asking you, is the design of the new high school an agenda item this evening?
It is not. The agenda item is the advisory committee update, and Mr. Hawkins is sharing some of the concerns that he raised during that committee meeting.
And so with
Okay,
Ms.
so
Springate
can
not
he-
being
can-
there, I felt
so
it was
can he
important.
raise those concerns without giving his explanation on why he thinks they are concerns, or just raise the concerns that the advisory committee themselves had? And then also, are there any minutes from the advisory committee meeting that we could be forwarded so that we are sure when we are hearing Mr. Hawkins' comments that these were actually concerns that were raised by that committee? I'm not really quite sure why we're entering into this long discussion about the design of the building when we've kind of been on a delay about the whole thing for the last 3 or 4 months on this meeting tonight. It just kind of seems a little bit off to me. So if we could be forwarded the committee or that advisory committee minutes or meeting notes, that would be great.
Okay. Yes, I can do that. And I will recap some of what happened at the meeting
Can I finish
when Mr.
up?
Hawkins
Yes,
finishes.
thank you. Because
Okay,
these were
thank
all
you.
concerns, and if I'm not mistaken, Ms. Richardson, you were a part of that meeting virtually. So you heard these concerns,
Mm-hmm.
and so you know very well that these were expressed at the advisory committee meeting. And so
I'm not saying that they weren't expressed, but over-exaggerated is probably a good word to use. But
I
I'm
do
welcome
not
to
think
say
I
what
am
you have to say.
over-exaggerating
I would
in the
just like
least.
to have the meetings to
I
that
know-
minute so that I can look over
I know-
those and make sure that they are accurate. That way, when they're put out to the public, which they're kind
Right.
of being done tonight, that they're
Right.
not confused about what actually was said.
Actually,
Go ahead,
what I
thank you.
have stated this evening is the exact truth about that design. It is a concern not only shared by me, but several members on the advisory committee. So I would like to finish sharing those concerns that were expressed, because I expressed them very, very clearly. That, I think before I was, the question was asked, I had talked about the roof, and we all know that we've had roof issues at some of our buildings, and we feel like it would be best to start with the best roof. It does not have the best HVAC system as part of the base bid, nor does it have the best flooring as part of the base bid. And my concern that I shared was that I'm afraid that we are building a building that we can afford instead of the building that we deserve and need. And I specifically mentioned a neighboring district that was building a school for 1,500 students for $70 million, and we're trying to stay under $50 million. And I think we have enough people here attend events at those other locations, and I think their expectation is that we have a comparable building. And I think to have all of these addressed, all of these concerns addressed, I think you're looking at a building in the neighborhood of $63 to $65 million. And I think, even though I am leaving, I am an advocate for our kids and for what I believe they deserve. And I think we owe it to them. I think we owe it to our community to ensure that we get this right. The design process has been flawed from the beginning. And this gives us an opportunity to address that and get the concerns fixed so that we can truly have the best building possible for our students.
And if I could just add, I am a member of that advisory committee. I did attend that meeting, and I have had subsequent conversations with several district employees, and I don't believe that anything has been exaggerated in what Mr. Hawkins has said. I think it is a very accurate representation of some current limitations that are in that design, and I think that we would be remiss to not acknowledge those and try to rectify those as we go forward.
Okay, thank you. Thank you both for your input. And I will send out the meeting minutes. They will be pending approval at the next meeting, so just note when you get those that they are draft minutes. I would also share that at the meeting, Ms. Mersich from Baird came and gave a bonding update, and then Sarah Lemire and Michael Hughes and Brian Buckner with Ross Tarrant kind of reviewed the current design and did a long recap of how the process had gotten to where it was. The agenda for the meeting may have been a little bit overly enthusiastic given how much ground there was to cover in recapping the different project elements. Matt Wade with CMTA reviewed the major mechanical, electrical, plumbing systems in the current design of the high school. He also noted that there were some additional strategies that could be considered as measures to help prevent COVID-19 transmission in different mechanical aspects. Mr. West and Mr. Bentley with Trace Creek Construction managers discussed their cost estimates for the project and stressed that that is very much in flux with the market volatility post-pandemic, or kind of at the tail end of what we hope is the end of the pandemic. There is a lot of volatility and unknowns in how the market and the construction supplies will come down, or is this the new normal? That was something that was discussed at length. That uncertainty in the short and long-term construction and labor shortages and costs. Items that were tabled for the next meeting included reviewing the project schedule, setting the specific budget. That was when Mr. Hawkins and I both had discussion about some of those design concerns and the risks of waiting. You know, we have seen that already in the time that it has taken us from the inception of this process to the current cost that we're looking at right now, a $6 to $7 million, and again, that's an estimate increase, and that the risks of waiting are also very real. Currently, one thing that Ms. Mersich shared is that that interest rates are still extremely low. And obviously, anytime that we wait, we risk those coming up. And with those changes, we understand as consumers that, you know, a small interest rate adjustment is a big impact on the overall length of the loan and the cost to the district. I felt that it was a very positive meeting, that the issues that were discussed were noted, and that it's something that we hope to continue and grow over the course of this project.
Can I just a couple points here. And I certainly appreciate the low interest rates and the cost of construction potentially going up. I think the real question is, do you rush in to build something that doesn't fit our needs? Or do you wait and take time to make sure we get it right? So that's question number one. Question number two, and this has been a little disheartening for me, and I shared this with a couple of committee members. Because questions were raised, I was fearful that this committee would not meet again before I left, and that is absolutely going to be the case. We met in April, and I haven't seen any minutes since that first meeting. And so now, I'm not sure what happens at this point, but Miss Bradley did indicate at the meeting that group and that committee was very much open to addressing the concerns in the design to get it right. And so I would implore those on the committee to do that, to show patience, to ensure that we get the building that our kids and our community deserves, and not rush into something that has some serious flaws in the design. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Hawkins. And I would note that the lag in the second meeting being scheduled was not on my part due to the questions that were raised. I don't think there's anything wrong with taking a hard look at difficult questions. That is not the reason. And I think if you look back at the number of meeting minutes that we approved tonight, and bear in mind how many meetings the board has had in the last month, I would ask for a little grace on that front.
I think you knew that schedule, though, when we set the first meeting in mid-April. So,
I definitely did not have interviews scheduled
no,
in mid-April.
but I'm saying, though, I think you knew it was going to be a busy time when the first meeting was held in mid-April.
And I appreciate your weighing in on that.
I do have a quick question. Grant, it sounds like, I didn't realize until tonight, but it sounds like Ms. Richardson maybe attended this advisory committee meeting virtually. So I guess I just have a question. I just want to make sure, if we have 3 or more board members at a committee meeting or at a meeting where board business is being discussed, does that need to be noticed differently? Was that legal or illegal? Was that okay or kosher? Just wanted to check with you.
And
Ms. Glass was also present.
Yeah, and I would note that only 2 people participated in the meeting, and that was me and Ms. McHale. Ms. Glass attended in person and sat in the audience, and Ms. Richardson attended virtually and did not offer any input at all.
So were audience allowed to attend the meeting? It was open to the public?
It was within the compliance of COVID.
Okay, I'm just asking the question, Mr. Chenoweth. So it sounds like audience was permitted. Were other audience members there?
There were people from the different construction companies, from Ross Torrent, from Trace Creek. I don't specifically remember if there were other people here that weren't.
I don't remember.
No,
on the committee.
I don't recall anyone other than Ms. Glass being a member of the public that evening.
Okay, go ahead, Mr. Chenoweth.
Yeah, I think that is the distinction that you made is the important one as to merely observing versus participating. If it was open to the public, at least that ought to be clearly conveyed to the public that it is a in-person public attendance meeting opportunity. So definitely as to future meetings, as we're getting out of all of these restrictions, it needs to be made abundantly clear when the public is invited in, so that everybody that wants to observe in person, if that opportunity is open, it has to be equally open.
Okay, thank you. And that is something that we will be addressing at our next planning meeting, is how we want to notice our meetings going forward, how we're going to make sure that we're still in compliance with everything, but kind of getting back to normal and where we're going to hold those and how we're going to do it electronically to maintain the transparency that our community has come to expect and enjoy with being able to watch these meetings as they're live streamed and just figuring out all of those things as a board together. All right, this is very much not how I had hoped to end this meeting. And I would note once more that we wish you the best, Mr. Hawkins.
Thank you.
In your future endeavors, and appreciate your work for the staff, students, and community of Woodford County. Is there a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
There's a motion by Ms. Springate. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Second by Ms. McHale. All those in favor say aye. Aye.
Aye.
The motion passes 5-0 and the meeting is adjourned.
Thank you, Mr. Hawkins.